So hi, I'm here with Julia Buonanno, and she is a SoulSweat teacher at Alchemy of Movement, and we are interviewing a little bit today about form and freedom in choreography. April 22nd, Julia will be here at Alchemy of Movement leading a workshop with our Alchemy of Movement workshop series. The workshop will be from 1 to 3 at the studio. And so I want you to tell us a little bit about what you'll be talking about during that workshop, and specifically just related to this idea of form and freedom in choreography and dance.
Okay. So I'm hoping that the workshop will be both talking and moving throughout. And when we're talking about it, I think what we're going to talk a lot about is I'm a little bit obsessed with this idea of how we move our bodies when we come into the dance class and all the different things we get to experiment with or get uncomfortable with or get to try on or play around with, all these different avenues. When we do it in dance class, it starts to weave into our lives, right? We start to feel maybe more playful, or we start to be able to tap into that other layer of joy, or maybe we push some edge in dance class and then we find that we're able to push an edge more outside, and we don't even have to think about it. That's what's so beautiful. And but here specifically with SoulSweat classes is we do it with choreography, right? So I'm pushing the dancers through the choreography I've made up. You know, if you go to the club or you go dance in your living room, you kind of stick with what you know.
Yeah.
You do your thing. But
Yeah.
when you come in here, you know, I'm gonna take you all over the board, all over the floor, get all parts of your body moving that haven't moved before, and then all of a sudden that starts to weave into your life outside of here.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly find that when I'm in your class that I'm moving in ways that I would never move. I mean, I think each teacher is very different, but there's something so expressive about your dance classes. Like as a participant, I find that I feel like I'm on a stage or something at moments where it's just so playful. So have you found personally this translation of what's happening on the floor is actually woven into your life? Could you give some examples of that?
Yeah, actually, during the workshop, I want to talk a little bit about just how much it's really pushed me through some really big pieces in my life. When I had a business before, it was directly related to, I knew what I wanted to work through as I was creating this business, and as I grew into who I was as a dancer right here in this studio, it was happening side by side as I was growing into my business.
Wow.
So I'll talk more about that a week from Saturday. And then in little places, all the time still, I still find it, this relationship between the two.
Yeah.
And the magic is where the mind and the body and the spirit are doing this work behind the scenes, and you don't even know it's happening. You don't know what it is, and you don't even need words to it. You don't have to identify it. You just trust that it's happening and you allow it to happen.
Yeah.
And there it is. It's happening. It's this undercurrent in your life, this aliveness.
Yeah.
That's happening.
Just automatically.
Automatically.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think for myself how many challenging experiences I've worked through on this dance floor.
Yeah.
Like some of the most emotional times in my life. And there's something about being able to possess your own body that is so empowering when you're in a place where maybe it seems as though things are just all falling apart.
Yeah.
But being able to take ownership in that way has been incredibly powerful for me. Can you talk a little bit about the relationship between this sort of form, this structure, and this concept of freedom, finding this spaciousness, and sort of a paradox there?
So that's exactly what I think the gift is of choreography. I love to go and dance and do whatever. The music comes on and I dance, but I love choreography because for me, when I have a million options, sometimes I get lost, or I don't even want to go to something because there's so many options, or I don't want to start a project because I could do anything. But once I narrow in the options, all of a sudden I actually find more freedom, right? So if I'm in a dance class and someone's directing me and we're doing this to the music and then we're doing this, okay, I've got it, I'm following you, and now let me make it mine, right? Within that. I think that template, that narrowing down, is the blasting off place for freedom. And so we're really going to talk about that a week from Saturday on the 22nd, of how you can find that and how you can find yourself. And it's not going to look like me. We're all going to look different in the room, but that's the gift, the narrowing down.
Yeah, there's actually I'm an existentialist, so there's like this existential piece, and it's exactly the same idea, is that with the more form, the more freedom is possible.
Yeah.
With the more structure, you actually have ways of even knowing what you're breaking apart, because there's the solidity of heel, ball, change, and then suddenly it's like heel, ball, change.
Yes.
And it's like, you know, what you're saying is like the Jenna version, the Julia version of that. That's so exciting.
Yeah.
It's really, really exciting.
And then I also want to talk a lot about when we do this, like helping people step into that once you do find out a little bit more of yourself and that it starts to not look like how everyone else looks in the class, to keep going with that. Because what happens in this room isn't that let's all get on the same thing and look the exact same way and we're like performing for a dance video. That's not what it is. It's really being your own dance in this room, but in community.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do. It's really hard to all of a sudden see yourself doing something different than everyone else and to keep doing it.
Right.
It's really hard.
You were an expert at this, too. I feel like I've been watching you before you were even a dance teacher, as a dancer, and I would be on the opposite side of the room with you, and I was like, what is she doing? You just take up the space. And could you speak a little bit to the vulnerability that takes, too, and the courage? I mean, I think it's not easy, like you're saying, and I wonder what are some pieces dancers could take away even from this little video about that, about stepping in and staying with?
Well, one of it, I mean, this is a long time coming for me. I've been dancing here for 15 years, I think, and I would get tidbits of wanting to do my own thing or wanting to get big, and then I would go totally into shame or totally into embarrassment, or like, everyone wants me out of this room. I'm taking up too much space, and then I would actually not show up for a little bit. And then I'd be like, you can do it, Julie. You can do it because you want it so badly. Like, to just be in the room because I love it so much. And so it was really just a process with my own brain. And so I hope that in this workshop and in my class too, to just keep encouraging people to show up in that awkwardness of where you're finding more and more of yourself, and to sort of turn off what you think you're hearing and just continuously dropping into how it feels. Because at the end of the day, what I found was it felt so good to totally be myself.
That it was worth the risk.
And that was work. That was so much better than the voices I thought I was hearing, or the risk, or anything like that.
Yeah. The voices you thought you were hearing even from the community.
Right. Which I wasn't actually hearing.
Right.
The ones I thought I was hearing.
Yeah. The ones you were thought.
But that the feeling, as I did it more and more, the feeling became so juicy and so good. And even in the hard moments, even when I come in a depressed day and I'm crying in there, that even doing that in my way felt so good.
Even as you're saying it, your whole face is like, I just feel you, like the yumminess of it. And I resonate with that too, so much. I think I see that in so many different dancers. But I think having the space, it is more of an advanced concept to just be able to be completely yourself, unabashedly. And that's such a unique gift, and it's going to look so different from person to person.
Yeah.
How do you work with, I wonder if there's some of the dancers that you're working with that really want to look like Julia. Can you see the difference in their dance on the dance floor? The ones that are like mimicking you, latching on to wanting to be just like you in a certain way, and the ones that are stepping into that freedom. Or is there nuance there as a teacher?
Yeah, well, I think for most, not everyone, but for most, what you do is you copy the teacher. That's your starting point. Let me try to do what they're doing. I think it's a smaller percentage that comes in to do something different than the teacher. It's just like sort of how we're raised and taught and everything. It's like you follow the rules, right?
Yeah.
But so I'm just constantly encouraging it. Like, this is what it looks like with me. What does it look like with you? Like, while we're moving, like, show me your version. So it's hard. It's just something we have to constantly be reminded about.
Yeah.
And I also think it's really important to talk a lot about how does it feel. I'm not teaching anyone how to dance. We all know how to dance. Like, from when you're a little baby, you just start moving.
You have a heartbeat.
You know, like, I teach because it's a time to dance, and I'm going to move you through some choreography so you have an opportunity to try on all different things and find more sides of your own dance and how your body moves and what your spirit, how it wants to weave in and out. But at the end of the day, or throughout it all, it's all about a feeling. It is not about how it looks. And then, interestingly, once you are in that feeling, it does actually end up looking like someone's totally embodied, right?
Yeah.
But it's coming through the back door.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. So there's this way in which I love that you're really taking the time to focus on this, because I think in such a, in a dance class you only have so much time.
Right.
And so being able to delve in deeply and focus on finding this freedom, breaking down the rules, breaking down your internalized voices, like to find the spaciousness and find the individuality, it just feels like such a constant life practice.
Yeah.
One workshop's not enough. We should do
No,
many
it's not.
workshops.
And actually, these dance classes, it's a lifelong practice. You're not going to come to one class and what I just said you're going to get.
Right.
Or if you go to many teachers, you have to keep showing up with anything, whether you're learning to meditate or you're doing yoga or you're just learning how to knit. Every time you sit down to do it is a practice. And that is it for the rest of life.
Yeah.
There's never a final show.
You never just get it.
Right? Because what are you going to do? There's a final show and you stop? No, you're like, what's the next thing?
Right. Right. And there's so many variations of showing up as yourself in so many different pieces, in so many different ways, so many different life circumstances.
Yeah.
We're talking about like the difficulties, the joys, the celebrations, the turn-ons, all of it. Like, there's so many different aspects. So that's a great. It's great. Is there anything else you want to say to the audience about your workshop or?
I guess the only other thing I would say is that who it's for is it's going to be great for people that are just starting. It's going to be great for people that have been dancing here for a couple years, or it's even going to be great for the people that have been dancing for years. And I hope to integrate everyone where they are, so that some of us that have been dancing here for a long time and have found some of this already are going to be teaching everyone in the room. And it's not just going to be me tell you, that we're going to be able to all teach each other
and collaborate.
And really collaborate. Like, that's where the alchemy is, right?
Yeah, in the community.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's so exciting. Well, I'm excited to be there. So if you want to join Julia, you can join her during this workshop on the 22nd. You also are welcome to join her on Wednesday mornings at 9. She also has a beginning class that's free. Free if you're a beginner and you're afraid of dance. This is the woman to come to. 8:30 to 9 every single Wednesday. And then 9 o'clock, her regular dance class starts. So join Julia, join Freedom, join the movement here at Alchemy of Movement. We are excited to see you on the 22nd.
Thanks, Jenna.
You're welcome. Thank you.